Who wants to be a millionaire? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Silver the Rabbit. Now, please give a big round of applause for our first contestant, Lucky from Ireland. So, Lucky, how does it feel to be the first contestant on the show?
Nervous. I feel like I have to make a first impression or something.
Huh. You don't sound Irish.
It's because my family and I moved out of Ireland back when I was about 7 months old. I didn't get to get my accent.
Huh. Interesting. Anyway, here's how to play. You will be greeted with a series of trivia questions, 12 of them, with 4 answers, which will become more difficult to answer the further you progress. Your job is to choose which out of the 4 answers is the correct one. Choose the correct one, and you will advance to the next question. Choose an incorrect one, and you will lose, leaving with the amount of money that you've earned from a milestone question. Correctly answer all of them, and you will win the biggest amount of money that's ever rewarded on a game show in Hoenntown, $1 million. On the way, there will be 2 milestone questions, them being question 2 for $10,000 and question 7 for $100,000. Answer those correctly, and you'll leave the studio with at least those amounts of money. To help you along, there are 3 lifelines. 50-50, which will take away 2 of the 3 wrong answers, and leave you with the correct answer and the remaining wrong one. Phone a friend, which will give one of your friends 30 seconds to give their opinion on the question. And Ask to the Audience, which will poll the audience on what they think is the right answer. That's settled? Are you ready to play?
Yes, I am.
Then let's play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Here comes your first question. Have a look at it. It's for $5,000. People who annoy people for fun on the internet are commonly called what? Noobs. Trolls. Fails. Like our 13 vids.
Well, I'm pretty experienced at the internet, so I'm gonna say trolls.
It's a pretty good start. You have $5,000. Now here comes the first milestone for $10,000. What is 0 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit? 42 degrees, 50 degrees, 32 degrees, 0 degrees.
That's an easy one. 32.
Well done. Now you have $10,000. So, you've made it past the second question. Now you will leave with at least 10 grand. From here, you have 10 questions until you get to the big prize of $1 million.
Geez, she got my talking here.
You should wait until you get past 100,000. Anyway, here comes the third question for $15,000. When is the first day of spring? March 20th, March 10th, March 17th, March 25th.
Now, here's a tough one. I know for a fact that all of these are special events. The 25th can't be it. I've heard that that day is when some sort of winter carnival takes place. The 17th, that's St. Patrick's Day. It's either the 10th or the 20th. Silver, I'd like to do 50-50.
Okay, computer, please take away 2 of the wrong answers, leaving the correct answer and the 1 remaining wrong answer.
Okay, now I'm certain. A, March 20th.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
And that is correct for $15,000. And now for $25,000. In some old arcade games, like Pac-Man and Dig Dug, when does the game activate a kill screen? Screen 117. Screen 100. Screen 256. Screen 128.
Normally I would call crap on this question, but since you say Pac-Man and Dig Dug, this gives me something to work with. I remember watching a video of this, where someone makes it or cheats it to level 256 of Pac-Man with a screen jumbled up. I'm going to say C, 256, final answer.
You know your video games. Only 8 questions to go, but before we take off with the $50,000 question, we're going to give the show to those guys trying to sell you stuff. So don't touch that remote, we'll be right back. And welcome back to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Before the break, Lucky the Bear has just won $25,000 and is now about to double that to $50,000. But before that, I just noticed something.
And what is that?
We're sitting in the wrong seats.
What?
Yeah. I recently watched some episodes of Millionaire from somewhere else, and the host was on the right and the contestant was on the left. My bad.
Oh, I find this seat significantly more comfortable than the other seats.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the show. As we stand, you are 8 questions away from winning $1 million. You've used up your 50-50, so you have 2 lifelines left. Let's play for $50,000. For $50,000, what's the name of the test used to determine how many Scoville units to rate a pepper? A. The Scoville heat test. B. The Scoville chromatography test. C. The Scoville organoleptic test. Or D. The Scoville unit test.
Okay, I know nothing about Scoville stuff, but the others might know, so I'm gonna ask the audience.
You heard Lucky. Audience, now's your time to shine. In front of you should be keypads with buttons labeled A, B, C, and D. You need to press the buttons according to what you think the answer is. A on your keypads is heat, B is chromatography, C is organoleptic, and D is unit. Audience, if you're ready, all vote now. Well, it looks like organoleptic is the most popular. Do you want to go for that?
Sure, final answer.
Rest assured, it's not A or D. Like all things in the world, everything related to scientific stuff must have an abnormally long name.
Of course.
I believe that you're wondering what chromatography and organoleptic mean, right?
I think so, yes.
Chromatography, according to dictionary.com, is a separation of mixtures into their constituents by peripheral absorption. In layman's terms, it's separating mixtures by absorption and stuff. Organoleptic means capable of detecting a sensory stimulus, which is basically what capsaicin does, and that's in peppers, and that's what the test is testing for. Seven questions until you win $1 million. Now, since we're getting pretty high on the tree, I shall remind you that you don't have to play this question. I forgot to mention this, but if you feel really stumped and you don't want to lose the amount of money you've got, you can walk away. You've used up 2 of your lifelines, leave it just phone a friend. Also, I don't believe I've addressed this yet, but what's that on your belly? Well, let's hope your luck serves you well. Here comes question 6 of a possible 12. You don't have to play this, but if you do want to, take your time. It's worth $75,000. In the long numerical scale, how much is a billion? 10 to the 9, 10 to the 12, 10 to the 6, or 10 to the 18?
In the long scale, the numbers were placed in a predictable order. Like billion, for example, is a by million in the long system. So I'm gonna say 10 to the 12.
Do you want me to make it orange?
Be my guest.
C, 10 to the 6, is a million. A, 10 to the 9, is what's called a milliard. A weird name, but currently we have the short system, so whatever. And 10 to the 12 is a billion. And by the way, 10 to the 18 is a trillion.
Yeah.
This is the last point where you can leave the studio with only $10,000. You've still got your phone friend. You can still walk away if you want to, but we ain't forcing you to. Here comes question 7 for $100,000. Have a look at it. How many hydrogen atoms are needed to make nitroglycerin? 3, 9, 5, or 2? Take your time. Remember that you don't have to play.
Hey, Silver. Have you ever heard of Bill Nye?
Yes, I have, and so does the audience.
Just a few days ago, actually, I've seen an episode on atoms, molecules, matter, etc. And Nye taught me about the periodic table of elements and how the elements were able to make molecules. And nitroglycerin was an example. 3 carbon, 3 nitrogen, 9 oxygen, and 5 hydrogen. Final answer.
If Bill Nye is watching this, you, my dear sir, just wanted to spare $100,000. Give it up for Lucky.
Oh yeah, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first contestant passed 100,000. Now, since you've been guaranteed 100,000, you might as well play this question because you have nothing to lose. Remember that you still have a phone a friend. Take a look. This is worth 150 quid. Which part of the brain controls speech? Motor cortex, Wernicke's area, primary auditory cortex, or the Broca's area?
A question about the brain, huh? Well, I don't really know much, but I do know someone who might be able to know. I'd like to phone.
Okay, who said someone?
Sean, he's my uncle.
Okay then, our friends at HCNT will get Sean on the line.
Hello?
Hello, this is Silver from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Oh, hello, Silver. My nephew told me all about you.
Speaking of your nephew, he's here with me. He's just won $100,000.
100,000, you say? That's a lot of money.
Yeah, anyway, the next voice you'll hear is Lucky's. He'll read out the question in 4 answers, and you'll have 30 seconds to tell him what you think the answer is.
Go on then.
Okay, Lucky, your time starts now.
Hey Sean, okay. Which part of the brain controls speech? The motor cortex, Wernicke's area, primary auditory cortex, or the Broca's area? Quick.
Now, I believe that would be the Broca's area.
How sure are you?
100% certain. Have it strike me down if I'm wrong.
Okay then, thanks. See ya.
Good luck. Hope your trip is deadly.
So, do you want to follow his advice?
Lock it.
You've just won $150,000! Here, Lucky, take a look at this.
A check.
For $150,000. Next is the final 4. $250,000 is next. You don't have to play this, you can walk away if you want to. You have no lifelines left, so you're on your own. Mats Volk, the current world record holder for the fastest 3x3x3 Rubik's Cube solution, holds the title at what time? 8.72 seconds, 5.55 seconds, 6.65 seconds, or 7.03 seconds.
Do you remember when I said that the first day of spring question was hard? Because that has nothing on this.
You could walk away.
Don't worry, I still got this. All of these are pretty quick times. 5.5 seconds doesn't really seem possible. 6 is still too quick, but it could happen if someone really Actually, that's why people break world records. They try really hard to do something that no one else has done. So I'm gonna say C, 6.65 seconds, final answer.
Oh, you should have walked away. That was Felix Semdex's. Volks's record was 5.55, believe it or not.
Dang it. Well, at least I got $100,000 in my pocket.
At least you have $100,000 in your pocket. Thanks for playing Millionaire with us, Lucky.
It was a pleasure.
And with that performance of testy knowledge, that is all the time we have for today. Join us again next time for another exciting round of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. This is Silver the Rabbit. I'll see you soon. Good night, everybody.